Cowboys play the Falcons tomorrow night. Tonight, the Steelers play the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers won't play.
Shocker.
First time in 20 years a projected starting quarterback of the Steelers won't take a snap in the preseason. It's never happened.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
Well, I would disagree.
Yes, sarcastic.
Stir in the drink.
Right.
Cowboys, by the way, in addition to their other issues, they have tight end issues. You know, Luke Shoemaker's in the concussion protocol.
Right.
They don't have a backup tight end right now. They have Ferguson, Jake Ferguson, who they've
correct.
signed. But right now, they don't have a backup tight end. The Shoemaker.
That's a concern.
He's been a bust. The two Michigan kids they've drafted high, Mozzie Smith and Luke Shoemaker, have not panned out so far.
No, they have not.
Shoemaker,
they played a little better at the end of the year, but they still has not been.
Their third quarterback is a guy you never heard of, and he's hurt too.
Tight end, yeah.
They're banged up there.
Yeah.
As for the Texans, they play Saturday. They're going to play against your Detroit Lions, and they're practicing with them. Listen to Dan Campbell yesterday talking about what he looks forward to going head-to-head with a good-on-good team from the AFC.
I'm really fired up that we're going to get Houston to come in here. It's only for one practice, but, I mean, those guys are – what D'Amico's done out there has been really impressive, and I know – this defense is, they're the real deal. The way they play, the way they practice, go about their business. They got weaponry on offense. Quarterback's a good little player. You can go across the board. My point, I can't wait. That's perfect. So.
All right, so they're going to sharpen one another and then play a game that won't mean anything on. But how much does Jared Goff play? How much does C.J. Stroud play on Saturday?
How much they're going to play in practice? You know what I mean? To go good on good. I think that's the top three offense and defense going at it.
And
I really
Houston
believe
fans
that this
will be
year.
watching their young freshman rookie tackle Ariante Ursery.
Yeah, from Minnesota.
Tay Ursery, they call him. He's had a great camp. He'll be up against Aiden Hutchinson and company.
And they've said he's a robot right now. Aiden Hutchinson at full
and that's
strength.
The kind of good on good you're looking for. In that case. All right, so that's there. Also, I wanted to play this because, I took some heat yesterday. Look, my position on Daniel Jones, these quarterbacks, right? We do days of our quarterback lives. We have our theme, Jack, and then, it's all off-season, the soap opera, who's going to be where, who's landing where.
There it is.
But then it gets into camp, and fans all want the young guy and the potential, right? Why did Shane Steichen, I believe, to keep his locker room sane, pick Daniel Jones to be his quarterback? Because he can't trust Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco gets it, and people are pushing for Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. Play for the future. Well, the coach is playing for today, and the coach is coaching everybody in his locker room.
Right.
And the veterans understand who gives them a chance to win and who doesn't. It's why there'll be a debate in New York because the Giants play tonight. The Giants are playing the Patriots. What do you do with Russell Wilson, which we know what he is at this point, but he is a veteran, versus Jackson Dart. Dart's had a great camp.
He has.
If you're looking at rookie quarterbacks, no one's been better than Jackson Dart. So far, his numbers are really good through 2 games. His completion percent is like almost 80%. So, he could be pushing. But we know they don't game plan for you in the preseason. It's vanilla. Yeah. And so it doesn't really matter. So, again, coaches are always going to side with experience and trust. Fans and media and, people want the future,
potential,
but y'all,
ceiling.
This is an education. This is why kids should stay in college now because they're getting paid in college. They don't develop quarterbacks in the NFL.
No.
In Major League Baseball, if you're not ready to pitch at the Major League level, they send you to the minors.
Right.
They don't have a minors in
There's
NFL
no minors.
football.
You're in the pros.
They don't have a G League.
Right.
So you stay in college.
Yeah, the UFL or XFL ain't
Anthony
there.
Richardson.
Right.
You stay. Jackson Dart played 5 years, and he's way ahead. Bo Nix last year.
Jaden Daniels,
C.J. Stroud of recent years. Right. Even Drake May was a little bit inexperienced. And remember, he didn't start like the beginning of last year. He took over as the year went on.
But really, almost 2 seasons worth of work, right?
Once they realized Joe Milton wasn't any good. But let me play this for you because it was Ross Tucker. Yeah. I heard this from Ross Tucker yesterday. And he said exactly, let's see if I can find this Ross Tucker. There we go. Ross Tucker. I think he was on the Dan Patrick Show, but talking about exactly what I'm saying here. Look, you have to look at it from the locker room. When you rip these coaches for not going with the future, that guy wants to keep his job, and the players around him want a chance to win every week. Here we go. Oops.
With Google.
Oh, well, we'll do that. We'll do Ross Tucker come back. Let's get a timeout because I needed to reboot that, but because it waited too long. But I want to, because I had it saved, but we'll come back. I want to play that because it is so spot on.
Right. These coaches don't have
to where a lot
guaranteed future either,
But even players.
Right. Players and the coach, right?
But this is what I always say about locker rooms. The players know.
Yeah.
if the players can't trust Anthony Richardson, they know they don't have a chance. And whatever you think of Anthony Richardson's potential, whatever you think of what he could be, and they should give him the chance to take his lumps, the players in that locker room do not want to do that.
No.
I mean, this is a sport where you could have your career ended on any play.
Right.
And you're out there busting your ass, doing your job, and if your coach chooses someone who doesn't give you the best chance to win, your coach will lose credibility with the rest of that locker room.
And the time is of the essence for you to get a new contract. If you're on a bad team and you're not playing.
Shane Steichen's in year 3, y'all.
Yeah.
And yes, is it his fault that they've had 10 quarterbacks since Andrew Luck? No. But no, he's got to go with the more – and you know what Daniel Jones is going to bring you. And you know what he's going to do week to week. He understands how to play football. He's
Guy's
won
got
playoff
experience.
games. And so,
They're
again,
a dysfunctional franchise, too.
It just amazes me that even former players in the media don't say, I can't lose my locker room, guys. Everybody's seen how Anthony Richardson has performed. Everybody's seen who's worked harder and who puts in the time and who's more in line with our offense and what we want to do. I'll give you a number on the Colts. Last year, the Colts were 29th in giveaways as a team. They were 29th in total offense, but they won 8 games.
Yeah. Wow.
That locker room with Jonathan Taylor, who's an all-pro player, Quentin Nelson, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, DeForest Buckner.
Those guys are saying, guys, if we can take care of the football, give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and let our defense have a chance and not give them short fields, we won 8 games last year and we were a mess.
They lost to the Giants at the last game of the year.
So Shane Steichen comes back and says, okay, I'm going to use the quarterback that gives us a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And yes, Daniel Jones has been a turnover problem in his past, but right now, this is the guy that gives us a chance to win, which gives me a chance to keep this locker room pushing all in the same direction. If I choose Anthony Richardson because the owner wants me to or the GM needs me to, this locker room is going to say, yeah, thanks a lot.
The other guys that got you the 8 wins are going to be out of it.
And you would do the same thing in your job.
Sure.
If all of a sudden, they bring in some hotshot kid that doesn't know how to do the job, and he's getting the chance ahead of you, and it's putting you in jeopardy, it's putting your team in jeopardy, you really don't have a chance to win football games, you'd be pissed too.
Well, he could throw the ball 80 yards.
Yeah. I mean,
I totally am. I'm with you on this. This is
I'll see if I can find the Ross Tucker.
And Anthony Richardson, I believe, is still 24 years old. He can be something. That's fine.
It's not
but
Shane Steichen's fault that they drafted that player.
I agree.
And they drafted him thinking, Shane Steichen could pull a miracle. But at the same time, that kid, Anthony Richardson, hasn't worked hard enough. He hasn't put in the time enough to understand how to get better. And look, he's been put in a bad spot. He should have stayed at Florida and kept playing college football and getting paid to play football at Florida. That's what he should have done, because that's the minor leagues in this sport right now. Stick and stay. And people will still argue, and some with a good argument, that Quinn Ewers, despite the legacy and wanted to have his legacy Texas, could have served himself better by going somewhere else in college football. He wasn't going to
be able to stay here.
And playing, and he would have had opportunities. That's a fair argument. Quinn was pretty steadfast on it, and he's trying to make his way with the Miami Dolphins, and we'll see how that plays out.